ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂದರ್ಶನ ವಿತ್ ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಸೋಮಣ್ಣ ಮಾಚಿ ಮಾಡ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದ್ಗುರುಗಳು ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಅವರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸದ್ಗುರು, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ವಾಹ್, ತಾವು ವಿಶ್ವವನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಿರುವಂಥವರು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದಂಥವರು. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನೀವು ವರ್ಣಿಸೋದಾದರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕವನ್ನು,
ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ.
ಈ ಒಂದು ನೆಲಕ್ಕೆ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಲಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಏನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಗುರುಗಳಿಗೆ?
Land of many possibilities, rich history and very prosperous history we have. Have we made use of all that in the best possible way? I don't think so. Because human life is such, however you do it, you can do it better. Whichever way you do it, you can still do it better. We can do way better for the richness of the land. Compared to many other states, Karnataka has a population advantage of land is more than the population. Just now I was in West Bengal yesterday. They have 10 crore population for a land which is just about the size of Kaveri Basin, about 85,000 square kilometers and 10 crore population. So, Karnataka has a population advantage. It can do many things, both in terms of ecology and economy. There's a tremendous possibility. And a population which is intellectually alive, gentle, quiet, not so volatile. I think it's ideal to, in many ways, to become a model state in the country and for the world. With technology, naturally, is a natural outcome. I don't think it's an accident that Bangalore became a technological hub. It's a natural outcome looking at the intellect of the people, the type of attitude that we have. This is how it would be. We are not built for heavy industry, all right, both the land and the people. So, for me, it's not a surprise. But have we harnessed it fully? I don't think so. Have we planned it out well enough? I don't think so. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. Many things are happening now, significant things are happening in terms of infrastructure. I think this new infrastructure that's coming up is very vital. Connecting big cities and cultures together with infrastructure is a vital part of economic development and also cultural exuberance which state has. Well, you come from Kodagu, it looks so different from everything else that's around. But are we different people? No, we are not different people, we are the same people, but different expressions of life. I think we should celebrate that and enhance that, because in the world, economy, culture, tourism are all linked. In terms of tourism, I think we've not done enough. I've had the pleasure of trekking through Western Ghats extensively when I was young, later on motorcycling across every little road that may be there in the Western Ghats I have done at one time. I have done from Karwar to Kanyakumari about 11 times on my motorcycle. So I know the terrain so well. I don't think we have harnessed the tourism potential either fully, which I think we must do, because tourism is that industry where we can invest in preserving our ecology, because that'll become the marketing tool for us, that our industry and maintaining the environment are not against each other, it's with each other. We should definitely do that. I don't think it's happened on the scale. Most people, when we say tourism in India, they say Kerala. Yes, Kerala is beautiful in its own way, but Karnataka has a variety of terrain and cultural spots which are of significance. What pains me is, when I speak about, when I ask, everybody knows there is a Taj Mahal, but not many people know about the Belur Hadibil temples, which are far more exquisite in terms of carving and the way it is laid out as architecture. But most people in the world don't know, most people in the country do not know. So I think we need to do a lot about projecting the state in the right spirit.
ಸಣ್ಣ ಮನವಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ, ತಾವು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಗುರುಗಳ ಬಾಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಖುಷಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರುಗಳೇ. ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಲದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗುರುಗಳ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ.
ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ರು ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಕುಂಟುತ್ತಿದೆ ಈಗ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ನನಗೆ ಭಾಷೆ ಇದೆ, ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು. 40 ವರ್ಷ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ತಾವು ಕಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ತಾವು ವರ್ಣಿಸೋದಾದರೆ?
ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ we be proud of our language and our histories. Language is one of the very important parts of the development of human brain. We are the only species on the planet who have such a complex varieties of languages. Among the many things that we can do with our intelligence, language is one of the most significant things. And this is a country which produced so many languages, 1300 languages and dialects we have in this country. Not all of them may be very much in use, but still there are. So, being proud of this language, preserving this, keeping it in relevance and usage is very important, because we are not made out of sameness of language. We are made of the complexity of who we are. The states were also divided on linguistic basis just to preserve this. So preserving, being proud of our languages is important, being proud of our culture is important, but welcoming our global culture into our lives is also important. So in our pride for language, we should not become exclusive, we should become inclusive, it's very important. How to do this? It's easier said than done. So primary education, at least till certain point, if everybody is acquainted with the language, it'll be nice. But there are unfortunate people like me who know the language but still can't speak fluently. I know every word in Kannada, but can't find expression. I think if I spend a little more time in Karnataka, if the language… it needs to hit my eardrums, that's all. I think then it'll bounce back.
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಭೂಪ್ರದೇಶ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ದಟ್ಟವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾಡುಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದ ಮಲೆನಾಡಿದೆ, ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿ ಹರಡಿರುವಂಥ ಬಯಲುಭೂಮಿ ಇದೆ, ಕಡಲ ತೀರಗಳಿದೆ, ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಗುಡ್ಡಗಳಿದೆ, ಬನಗಳಿದೆ, ಫಲಭರಿತ ತೋಟ ಇದೆ, ಧುಮುಕೋ ಜಲಪಾತಗಳಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಯಾಕೆ?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈಗಿದೆ, ಇತ್ತು ಮೊದಲು, ಈಗೂ ಇದೆ, ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೂ ಇರಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ. ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಬೇಕು.
ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಅಥವಾ ಈಗಲೂ ಅದು ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ, ಈಗಲೂ ನಮಗೂ ಬೇಕು, ಈಗಲೂ ಬೇಕು,
ಈಗಲೂ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿನೇ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ. ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಕೊಡಗಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಕೊಡಗಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮರದ ಶೇಡಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಜಮೀನು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಣ್ಣು ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ. ಭಾಳ ಸುಲಭ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯವಸಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿ, ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಮರದ ಇದು the land which is under tree shade, which is constantly being replenished by the tree, by the falling of the leaves and enhancement of organic content and animals, and a land which doesn't have vegetation and animal life is entirely different. Without plant life and animal life, you cannot keep the land rich. Soil will turn into sand over a period of time. 10% of the earth's soil has become sand in the last 25 years, 10% in 25 years. Desertification is the core problem of the planet right now. We are not far behind. India's average soil organic content is supposed to be 0.68%. In recent times, I'm beginning to dispute that, because I had what we thought was rich land. When we tested that, It was very poor, well below that. I think it's somewhere around 0.5% probably average. Because you're counting hills and mountains and forests, if you count only agricultural soil, it'll fall below 0.5%, which is very serious, because according to UN agencies, below 1% is considered desertification. Healthy soil means minimum 3%.
ಯಾರು ಹೊಣೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ, ನಾನು ಸೇರಿದಾಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಪಾತ್ರ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಂಥೊಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಆಳುವಂಥ ನಾಯಕರುಗಳ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿನ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕೂಗ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇ ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಫರ್ ಆಗೋದು ರೈತರಿಂದ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಇವತ್ತು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆ ಯಾರು?
See, one thing is, we must leave this attitude. If something is wrong, who should be hanged? We should leave that. Nobody to be hanged, because all of us are consuming this, all right? Every one of us are part of the problem. The only way forward is all of us become part of the solution also. Why has this happened? If you look back on the history of this country in the last 200 plus years, there have been many terrible famines. Well, we can always say because of occupation, because of misuse and all that, yes, you can't change history, that's our history, all right. You have seen even in 20th century, we have seen some very debilitating famines. So somewhere in early 60s or even in late 50s, we started making up this idea of green revolution. That was a bridge which made us cross the famine problem. Otherwise, many of us or our parents wouldn't be alive, you know. They all lived because of the green revolution. In this green revolution, we found this magic of fertilizer and chemicals with which we could produce more food. Because of that, our populations have gone up, people have lived longer, famines have not happened. Famine has not happened since 1962. We have to thank the fertilizer and chemical factories which supplied. But it was a bridge. If you cross the bridge, then you must get to the land. If you stay on the bridge forever, you are on a bridge to nowhere, all right? This is our problem. We crossed the bridge and we did not get down. And fertilizer and chemical usage could not be controlled and monitored because it's done in a such a diffused way. Because of that, the damage has happened. More than that, the real damage is because there is no organic content. There is no vegetation or animal life on the farms. You go on the farms and see where is vegetation, where is animal life. No plant life, no animal life, no organic content. No organic content, no organisms. No organisms, you're manufacturing a desert in your own backyard. This is the simple process. So, now is the time, because now for the first time in the last few years, we are a food surplus nation. Now that we are a food surplus nation, this is the time we need to adjust. Immediately there are hotheads everywhere who will just raise, okay, let's burn down the fertilizer factory, let's do this. Let me warn them, if you take away all fertilizer and pesticide from the world today, our food production will come down to 25% of what it is right now. That is a death warrant we will sign of our own lives. So this is not about fertilizer chemicals. The problem with fertilizer chemicals is unbridled usage. A time has come where we need to increase the organic content and use fertilizer chemicals in a doctored way. Doctored way means you have at least seen, this is not done in India, but in other countries you've seen airplanes spraying pesticides and fertilizers. This is carpet bombing, all right? Literally killing everything that is there. Because we thought if you kill all life, our crop will come up. We don't understand the foundational life in the soil, which is a microorganism which you cannot see, is the only reason why the plant and tree is growing. And it is only because of that you and me are alive. 60% of your very body is microbial organisms. So, in a doctored way means, because we are in a tech city, at least we are supposed to be, it is time we bring robotics into agriculture, because now we can apply fertilizer and chemical just where it's needed. Right now we are just spraying all over the place, killing everything. So this method of mass poisoning of water, soil, everything, because we are afraid of one thing, is not the answer. Where the problem is, you need to apply there. Now it's simply being applied without any discrimination. A time has come to increase the organic content, reduce the fertilizer usage to the extent it is necessary for a given crop. Now, local farmer who doesn't know much science about it is simply using it according to his judgment. His judgment is just, your neighbor is using so much, so I also use so much. Yes, it is true that tomorrow morning if you give up your food and just take 125 vitamin pills, you will feel like this, wonderful, charged up. But if you do that every day, end is near.
ವಾಹ್, ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಕೂಗು, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್, ಯಾವ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ?
ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆನೇ.
ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಕೂಗು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಈಗ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಈಗ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಏನೋ ಟೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಯ್ತಂತೆ, ಈಗ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆಯಂತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ. ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಡನಾಟ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಕೂಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಗುರುಗಳೇ, ಅಥವಾ ಈಗ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್?
See, with Safe Soil, 81 nations, because Safe Soil is focused towards policy change. It is foolish for anybody to think, I will change the quality of the soil around the world. It's just silly. They don't know what they… I don't know how they come to such conclusions. This is about changing the policy, because right now there is no policy to tell a farmer how he should keep his soil. We think it's his property, let him do whatever he wants. See, right now you have property in Bangalore city. Let's say you have 10,000 square feet. Can you build a 10,000 square feet of building? No. They'll allow you 6, 7, 8, whatever it is, the rules. But if you go to older part of Bangalore city, you will build… people have built homes without a concept of a window. Wall to wall, wall to wall. Agraharas, you go and see. There is no concept of a window. Why? Because there were no laws, that's how they built. Now in agricultural land, if you have 100 acres, you plow every inch of it, turn it into a desert in 10 years' time. Nobody will ask you, they say, oh, it's his property, he can do what he wants. No, land is not your property, it's in your custody right now. It belongs to the people who are here and people who are not yet. It belongs to the unborn child also. You can't just rip it off and go away, all right? So, soil policy is needed. If you own agricultural land, minimum 3 to 6% organic content you must maintain. If you cannot maintain, you must hand it over to somebody, or you must do something else on it. If it is labeled as agricultural land, minimum 3 to 6% organic content is a must, because without this, you are producing food which is fake food. Let me use this strong word, it's fake food, because it looks like that, but it doesn't have the necessary nutrients. Every study is showing, for example, in United States, there's a study which shows, in 1920, if you ate one orange, what micronutrients you got from one orange. To get the same thing, today you will have to eat 8 oranges. ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಕಿತ್ತಲೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು.
ನಶಿಸಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಈಗ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕೊಡಗಿನ ಕಿತ್ತಾಳೆ.
See, the food may be there, but does it have the stuff to give nourishment to the body? So, all the chronic ailments that you are seeing, mental illnesses are seeing, there is enough study across the world to show your chronic ailments and mental illnesses are very directly connected to this micronutrient level in the food that you eat. There are a whole lot of clinics in Switzerland, it's become very popular for the rich and famous to go there, that if you go there, if you tell them you have diabetes, if you tell them you have blood pressure, if you tell them whatever, they even claim they'll treat cancer, I don't know about that. But they're claiming they can cure everything. What is their method? They study the micronutrient level in your body, what you need, at a very minute level, like no other blood test will do that. That kind of study they do, and they give you super expensive micronutrients. And people are claiming their diabetes went away in 6 months' time, their blood pressure went away. I don't think it is not true, it is true, but it's so very expensive, to work like that, to make that kind of study on of an individual person and then to treat him that super expensive micronutrients. So, this is clearly understood in the world. Now, will you go producing those micronutrients in the factory or will you make sure it is in the soil?
ಮೈಸೂರು ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ತಾವು ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥವ್ರು, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಬಹುತೇಕ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮೈಸೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ಕಾಲ ಕಳೆದಂಥ ದಿನಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ
ಕಾಲ ಕಳೆಯಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಅನುಭವ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದಾ ಸರ್? ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಅನುಭವ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫಿಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆದಂಥ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು?
ಚಾಮುಂಡಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ, ಜಾವಾ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ
ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಚಾಮುಂಡಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ? ಅಂಡ್
ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ
ಗುರು ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ತೂಕ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡದೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನನ್ನು ಸೂಚಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸರ್ ಗುರುಗಳೇ?
The word Sadhguru means essentially an uneducated guru. That means he does not know any scriptures, he does not know any traditions. The only thing he knows is he knows this piece of life, absolutely, from its origin to its ultimate. Fortunately, every other life is made the same way as this life is made. Because you know this life and you talk about this life, everybody thinks I am talking about their life. That is the advantage of being Sadhguru. That you don't have to know anything and still it's wonderful.
ಇಶಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಶಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗುರುಗಳೇ? ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಾವು ಶಿವನನ್ನೇ ಆರಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆರಾಧಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಕಾರಣ?
See, I am not people ask me, am I a devotee of Shiva? No, I am not. It is just that Shiva means people have made a god out of him. But in the yogic tradition, he is always seen as the first yogi, Adi yogi. He is the first yogi. See, why would you value somebody who lived here 15,000 years ago? Do you remember everybody? No, you only remember one man. Why? Somewhere he must have contributed to your life in a way that you cannot forget, isn't it? So his contribution is this: he gave the science of yoga. Yoga does not mean twisting and turning that people are doing, because this is all rebound from the American coast, what you are seeing today largely. Yoga means it is a science which takes you beyond all limitations. How to make use of yourself in the highest possible way. Because human life has come with a possibility, we are the flower of evolution on this planet. So will we blossom as flowers or will we go unblossomed? This is the question. To make you blossom, he gave you 112 ways, not as philosophy, not as teaching, not as belief system, but as methods, scientific methods as to how you can evolve this human being. To honor him, I put up 112 feet tall statue of Adiyogi so that it will be an inspiration for people. What he gave was so technically correct and scientifically correct that all these generations in 15,000 years were not really ready. A few people were ready and they continued that process, but never the whole generation ready. This is the first time that more human beings on the planet are beginning to think in a logically correct manner. Now, simply belief system, selling tickets to heaven is not going to work. People want solutions. They don't want solace or comforting words. People don't want comforting words, they want solution. So this he offered over 15,000 years ago, but the tradition of yoga kept it alive, waiting for that right time. The right time is now, because today you trust your technology more than your parents and grandparents, isn't it so? Hello? Tell me, are people going to their grandmothers or to the Google granny? So, because your trust in technology is increased simply because you're becoming more and more logically correct. As the population is becoming logically thinking population, now the time has come. What he offered 15,000 years ago, the relevance of that, the practical implementation of that is now. And this is the first time there is enough technology we can sit here and talk to the entire world. This is the very first time in the history of humanity. So this is the time. So I am not using Adiyogi as an object of worship, but as a tool to transmit, as a honor for man who's offered this possibility for us so long ago, which is relevant to us today. You must understand, yoga is the largest thing happening on the planet today. Over 3 billion people are practicing some form of yoga. Never in the history of humanity has it so happened that somebody put a sword to your throat and say, do yoga, otherwise I'll cut your throat. Never has happened. But still, 3 billion people are doing 15,000 years. Tell me one more thing which has lived for 15,000 years. This is the only thing. So it must be… its efficacy is unquestioned, but it has to be delivered properly as it's relevant for today's generation.
ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಗುರುಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇವತ್ತು ಸುದ್ದಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಕಾಮಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೋ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುದ್ದಿಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಗುರು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಾನ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಆ ಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವರು ಎಡವುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ತಿದ್ದುವಂಥ ಗುರುಗಳೇ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ದೌರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಈಗಿನ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಗುರುಗಳೇ?
See, there is corruption in every aspect of life. Aren't there corrupt journalists? Aren't there corrupt politicians? Aren't there corrupt doctors? Aren't there corrupt lawyers? Aren't there corrupt everything? There are. So unfortunately, it seeped into this. You must understand this. This is not about a spiritual leader being corrupt. It is about a nation accepting corruption as a part of life. This must go means all of us should rise a few steps in integrity. We must value integrity. Right now, we are not valuing integrity. If the policeman is not standing there, even if it's a red light, how many people will stop? Either the policeman or the camera. So essentially you're a criminal, all right? So if you raise to some position where you have some power over people, you will naturally misuse it. So integrity should be enshrined in every heart, especially our children. Integrity should be the highest value. Then there is a society. Otherwise, every aspect of life will become like this.
ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಎಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮನುಕುಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಅದು ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿನ? ಜನ ಇವತ್ತು ತಾವು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಗೂಗಲ್, ಫೋನ್, ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್, ಸೊ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಟೈಮನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು…
ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಟೂಲ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚಾಕು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕತ್ತೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ಥರ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೇ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಟೂಲ್. People are still in a compulsive stage, in a instinctive reaction stage. Once you come as a human being, for the intelligence and competence you carry, you have to become a conscious human being. Otherwise, your own intelligence is a problem, phone is a problem, computer is a problem, everything is a problem. No, nothing is a problem. There's only one problem on the planet, that is the human being. Why the peak of evolution on this planet has become a problem is because at this level of intelligence and competence, unconscious functioning is the problem. So this is why the fundamental goal of my work is to create a conscious planet. So let's make it happen. Thank you.
NewsFirst, ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ.